And I am actually lovely. I'm adorable.
I know you are.
We know you are.
Do you love playing the villain, though?
I love it.
Yeah.
Of course I do. It's led to wonderful, fantastic things. Me playing villains in pantos, in movies, darling.
But we can see your lips twitching, you see, when you really want to smile. That's where we all go. He's lovely,
Yeah.
really.
Oh, look, he
When
wants
I
to
say this,
smile.
he was
Sometimes
always
I do.
he's always first down to the bar, I have to say.
Absolutely.
Always first down to the bar.
The only one, actually.
Always hugging people like me who are crying in a corner. You've got two.
Yeah, I do
Oh,
try.
darling, sorry,
I
but
know.
you were rubbish.
Well, I'm not going to lie, am I? You know that, darling. You know that.
But we do love watching you. What are you making of the series so far, the standard?
Well, it's fantastic. You know, the press were absolutely horrid at the beginning, saying, you know,
They always are.
They do every
But
year.
it's just awful, isn't it? They say this is going to be the worst year ever, and actually it's turned out to be one of the best. You know, it's been in the press
Well.
a lot recently as well.
It's a lot. We've talked about it a lot, obviously, because there's, you know, the Snog saga,
Yes.
Katya and Seann, which people are still talking about. It's dissipated a little. What did you make of it?
Well, I made of it, I thought they were brave to come back on the show and do their dance of shame, as I put it, you know, because that has to be done. If you've snogged someone at the Christmas party that you shouldn't have, like your boss, if you still want the job, you've got to turn up on Monday, even if there are imprints on the photocopy machine or whatever it might be, you know, and...
You sound like you're speaking from experience.
I know, it's sounding very real.
No, but I think you've got to face the music and dance, really, you know, using that terminology. And they did, and I'm glad they did, because they're there to be professional. Let's not forget, they are being paid to do a job, both of them. I think I would put the ball in Katya's court. She should not have allowed it to happen.
Really?
You know?
Why? They were both consenting. Why is it more
Well,
her
number
fault?
one, darling, she's married. Number two, he was in a relationship that is no longer. I mean, you know, if I'm talking from Craig Revel Horwood personal, this is not the view of the BBC, let me say. But
So do you mean with her being a professional
well,
dancer, she had more responsibility?
It's a teacher snogging the student, isn't it?
Oh, God, I hadn't thought of it like that.
Or
It's
the
not
boss.
First time, though, is it?
It's not the first time in anyone's life, darling. You've probably done it many times.
Yes,
I would
anyway,
like to
moving on.
But I'm just saying, you know,
Talking
it does
about,
happen in real
talking
life.
about your life, this is the third instalment of your autobiography. This one is called In Strictest Confidence, and it is out today.
It is indeed. I'm very excited about this one. I know, because it's all secretive.
She's
It's
like
all the things I
secret.
wasn't alled to write in all balls
Oh,
and
it's out
glitter.
tomorrow, I've
Or
just been
tales from the
told.
dance floor, darling.
Yeah. So how many tales are you telling?
Oh, lots of fabulous ones from backstage at Strictly, of course. Everyone would be disappointed if I
Yeah.
didn't. Also, on a serious note, the death of my father, which I touch on, and because he was an alcoholic and an abusive one, and went on rampages with shotguns and all sorts of
Which
things
you have
in my
talked
life.
about when you've been on...
Yes,
Loose Men with
exactly.
us.
But it was just interesting to see him being buried, you know, and how one copes and deals with that as well, you know.
Because presumably there's the guilt that goes along with the relief of not having to deal with an alcoholic
Yes,
parent
quite.
as well.
But there's also, you know, dealing with the grief of someone that you love or love to hate or hated to love,
So
and then,
complicated.
you know, where are you at? So I discussed that in
But you didn't
quite
go to the
lengthy
funeral
detail.
either, did you?
I
Although you
couldn't,
were
because
kind
I
of
was,
there. Yeah.
I couldn't, because I was in Panto and I was the only headliner, and I would have let the show down and everyone else down.
But you
for that
sang
matter.
there,
And my
but
dad-
on remotely,
yes,
didn't you? Yeah.
I did my way, because I was singing that in the show, and it ends, you know, the entire Panto, and it was my father's favourite song. So I could only literally
That must have
sing
been
it
really
once.
tough, though. That must have been
Every
quite...
night, I just thought of it as homage to him and his life, whether he was a bad or a good father. You know, when he wasn't drunk, he was absolutely lovely
Well,
and
it's
adorable.
It's an addiction, isn't
Of
it?
course,
Which as
and a
an adult,
disease.
you understand
Well, I mean, the
more.
bizarre thing is, he would have... I mean, he died of alcohol poisoning, which was sort of disappointing, because I talk about how he died. We didn't find out for months, you know, because he was just found sort of in a pool of blood with a broken neck. I mean, that sounds horrific, where his head hit the TV screen and he went down. So I was rather hoping secretly that it was the fall, but it wasn't. It was actually, he was dead before he hit the ground, you know, which and we had to wait
And
months
it's quite,
and
and
months.
it's, you know, that's very difficult, those
I know it.
circumstances. But losing a parent, like you said, whatever they've been like during your life is always a tricky one.
Absolutely, and I'm
happier
quite
note,
candid, you know, in the book about sort of everything and everyone,
well,
like everyone would
on
expect.
a happier
obviously.
note, you have found love again.
I
with the lovely
have,
Jonathan.
darling. I know. My
His
bush has been
story
well and
made
truly trimmed, darling, because he is a fabulous horticulturist. And I love him. He's absolutely gorgeous as well.
How
Oh,
did
there
you
he
meet?
is on the screen.
There he is.
He's absolutely adorable. And yes, he's 20 years younger, if anyone's...
Well done.
I look
Nothing wrong with
amazing, though,
that.
for my
Nothing
age.
wrong with that.
You do look
I know,
amazing.
darling, you know all about it.
I know all
don't
about
you?
that, yeah.
And you've moved to the country.
Yeah, I've loved it too. I mean, London was really getting on my wick, I've got to say, you know.
You were in
'cause
Camden, weren't you?
in Camden
Yeah.
Town, which I loved, and it was great.
I know how
when
that
was-
feels as well, actually. Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
opening the front door was a metre away from the pavement, and I've got a pub just across the road, so I was urinated on, and several times. I know it's disgusting, isn't it? Well, there's lots of those sort of stories, but it is written in a light-hearted, funny way. It's not a depressing book in any
Oh,
way,
not
shape
at
or
all.
form.
Not at all.
And I am
It's
in
called
Oxford
In Strictest
tomorrow.
Confidence by Craig Revel Horwood, and
That's
it's
it.
out tomorrow, not today, but, well, near enough.
Tomorrow is today.
Tomorrow.
You know, it's the land of television, darling.
Lovely
and
to
I-
see you.